I just come back from the 2 hour long developer chat with Blizzard, where they talked about all the big changes coming in Season 4 of Diablo 4. But to make this very clear, I will not take all the details into this video because it's far too much. Like, seriously, this has been a lot. So we'll only talk about the really important changes and what I think about it. And if you really want to know what will change in detail, well, there is the 2 hour long developer chat and the patch notes, which are coming next week with the test server. Wait, next week is the test server coming? Mole. Season 3 is ending soon, and then Season 4 starts. What do they want to test? Well, I have some bad news for you, and I think we are starting with that, because Season 4 has been postponed, and yes, you have to play Season 3 a little bit longer. Season 4 is now starting on May 14th. No, that's not a joke, that's not a clickbait or anything, that's now the official date Blizzard has given to us. And that might even change depending on the feedback they are getting. So now you know what you are up against, because it is a lot. Like, seriously, they're finally going through all the items, they're changing how many items you will find, how rare those items are. Like, later on, when you have reached a certain level, all items will be item level 925. Always, you will find uniques more. They want to give you more events where you actually can find like uber uniques. They will also drop much sooner. Like, there will be huge changes to the whole item system. And one of the biggest changes, I believe at least, is they are now changing how the Codex of Power works. As you probably know, in the Codex of Power, you always had like the weakest upgrades you could put on an item, right, to give them unique powers, and they were not really great. So you always had those shards in your item, in your bank, and most of your bank slots were just full with unique shards, because you never knew if you need that at some point. It was overflowing with shards. Good news, those shards will disappear. They will be gone, and you will not need them anymore, because all those unique abilities will now be in the Codex of Power, available at any time. Oh, so I don't have to like destroy items anymore to draw the shard out of it? No, but you still want to destroy them to upgrade the Codex of Power. So let's say you have a unique ability which gives you 5% more attack speed, right? That's in your Codex of Power. And if you destroy an item which also has, let's say, 7% attack speed, your Codex of Power will be upgraded to the 7%, right? So now you're just destroying unique items for upgrading the stats in your Codex of Power. That's the big change they're doing, and I think that's very important, right? Because it took just too much room. Same goes, by the way, for most of the crafting materials. They're removing them from the game, and only the rare crafting materials are now needed for some of the elixirs, and of course for upgrading your items and all that. Like, you still need that, but everything else basically got removed from the game because it became pretty annoying. They also reduced some of the number of affixes, as you can see here, but they want to empower the affixes you find, and I think that's a pretty good idea, because you had so much to read through, and then some of the affixes were just crap, and they can really focus on the affixes you need for your character. And I think that's a pretty good thing they're doing here. As I said, this was a huge showcase on how they want to change the items, and they took actually quite a bit of ideas from Last Epoch. If you have been playing Last Epoch as of recently, you probably know how the crafting works there and how some of the endgame items work, and they're bringing that now into Diablo with greater affixes. You know, those purple items you are finding in Last Epoch with tier 6 and tier 7, they're basically bringing the same thing into Diablo with items which can have greater affixes, and only those items with greater affixes can have those tier 6 and tier 7 affixes on it, right? They're doing the same thing here. They also took some ideas with basically transferring affixes from one item to another, like in Last Epoch. And I think it's a pretty good way to do it, and I really enjoy it. Like, I definitely enjoyed the Last Epoch, so I think that's a good thing. They are also working on the Hell Tides, right? That they are a little bit more challenging. There will now be a way how you can kill monsters in the Hell Tides, and this will fill up a bar. And when you have filled up the bar, like, just tons of enemies are coming at you and trying to murder you. And they will also bring back Andariel as a new boss. That will make it a little bit easier to get apparently items for summoning bosses. That's also a thing they're working on. Like, all in all, it really seems like that they are finally trying to turn this around. Now, does it really save Diablo 4? It fixes a big issue. It really fixes a big issue, and that is the itemization and what you can do with your character beyond leveling, beyond getting your talents, and beyond getting your Paragon board up, right? Like, it really felt often or not like your character has reached this point in the game where you already had some of the best items you could find, and then you would only increase the power of your character by 3%, by 4%. It became so slow, and itemization was a huge issue in that. The good news is they are trying finally to fix that here, but one of the big issues still remain, and that is that you don't really have a lot of options with all the talents and abilities in the game, and you cannot really diversify your character as much. So yes, even though this big update would change quite a bit and will make a lot of things better, they are still some of the main issues which remain because, well, the talent system is unfortunately still the same. Now, what they are also adding, and I found that a little bit funny, they will bring back Greater Rifts. Yes, if you have played Diablo 3 and you are still remembering the Greater Rifts, they're back. You have to reach level 100. You have to, I think it was a level 45 dungeon in the end game, and then you can basically unlock the monolith in a city, right? And then you can just do Greater Rifts, and it is one-to-one the Greater Rift. Also, nice new addition, you can zoom the camera out a little bit more. Yeah, I think that's pretty important, and I'm pretty happy about it. But like, really the big changes was the itemizations. And they have so many small changes here. I don't really want to put it into this video because, as I said, it's so much. And you just lose yourself in the small details, and most people don't really want that. So I truly believe, from what they have shown here in the video, this would be a huge change to Diablo 4, and it will just help with so many problems. But unfortunately, the other half of the problems Diablo 4 has right now is coming from the choices you can make with your character. And that's, well, you don't have a lot of choices, right? You just don't have that. And as long as they're not tackling that as well, this is only half the solution. So this would definitely help, and I'm really looking forward to it. Unfortunately, we have now wait till May till we are getting that huge change, and we have to see how it plays out. We will definitely see next week, when the public test realm is going live, what people think about it. And then, of course, we have also to see what Season 4 has to offer, because they haven't really talked about this at all. They haven't even mentioned any of the big, like, Season 4 additions. And to be honest, with all the changes they're doing here, and with all the additions we are just getting on the Eternal Realm, I don't really expect that Season 4 will be that big. Would be nice, but I'm not expecting it. I think this is a very good addition to the game. Like, I'm looking forward to see those changes in action. They have been long coming, and they were really needed. And I'm hoping it plays out to the benefit of the players, that you finally feel like, I am still improving the power of my character I'm still getting stronger, and this doesn't just feel sluggish anymore. With that said, let me know what you think about the changes coming in. I'm definitely interested about that down below in the comments. Also, leave a like if you haven't yet. And if you're new to the channel, you love RPG games, and we're covering quite a bit here. Last Epoch, PoE of course, Diablo 4 of course, and many other RPG games. I would appreciate if you might consider to subscribe to the channel. With that said, thank you so much for watching, stay safe, and I'll see you next time.